Dune Prophecy does well to explore the rich history of the universe created by Frank Herbert, while also focusing on the aftermath of humanity's war against the thinking machines. Based on the 2012 novel Sisterhood of Dune by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, the 6-part series is set over 10,000 years before the rise of Paul Atreides, chronicling events that reshaped the galaxy and forged the powerful Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. It takes place 166 years after the cataclysmic machine wars, and the story reveals a world still grappling with the legacy of its near extinction. But what exactly are the thinking machines and how do they operate? Who was their leader? Was there like a machine god? Did the thinking machines ever revive themselves after the Butlerian Jihad? Well, we'll answer these questions and much more in this video. But before we get too deep into things, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. So without further ado, let's jump right into things. What are thinking machines and Psymechs? A brief overview. The thinking machines, initially developed by the humans of the Old Empire, were designed to handle routine tasks. Over time, the concept evolved dramatically when the Titans, once human leaders, chose to separate their brains from their bodies. Their brains were placed in electrofluid-filled, near-indestructible canisters equipped with thought trodes, allowing them to interface with advanced robotic bodies. These beings, known as Psymechs, could occupy powerful walker or starship bodies, granting them immense physical and mental superiority over humans. Viewing themselves as far superior to their creators, they referred to humans dismissively as Hrethgeir, a term later adopted by Omnius, the AI ruler of the synchronized empire. The Psymechs' ability to detach from their bodies was both their greatest strength and vulnerability. Without their robotic forms, they were susceptible to control and manipulation. New Psymechs were often indoctrinated to serve the will of their creators, whether that be the Titans or Omnius itself. Among the first Psymechs were Agamemnon, the pioneer of the procedure, and his partner Juno. Other notable Titans included Dante and Xerxes. Xerxes would eventually delegate his authority to his AI systems, inadvertently allowing one of them, Omnius, to gain autonomy. Omnius seized control, subjugating the Titans and their empire, and enslaving all Psymechs to its neural network. Omnius established itself as the Evermind, ruling an intergalactic empire with vast armies of loyal thinking machines and Psymech generals. Its expansion faced resistance from the League of Nobles, the last human stronghold. This resistance culminated in the Butlerian Jihad, led by Serena Butler, and ended with the defeat of the machines at the Battle of Corin. The victory marked the end of Omnius and the thinking machine's dominance, restoring freedom to humanity after years of struggle and subjugation. But you're not here for just this, are you? No, you're here for the juicy details, the crooked politics, the wars that they fought. I mean, the Butlerian Jihad and the guild that came after the Jihad are so important that they divide the Dune timeline, and the thinking machines had a huge role to play in it. So let us first begin with the rise of Omnius. Fall of Titans and rise of the thinking machines. The Titans came into existence as a reaction to the decadence and stagnation of the Old Empire, a civilization that had grown indifferent and lethargic over millennia. From the distant reaches of the known universe, a philosopher named Tlaloc proposed radical change. His ideas attracted a small, influential group of 20 individuals who embraced his revolutionary ideology, and this would prove to be the beginning of the end of a great empire, as well as the turning point that would give birth to a new empire. So, these followers, later known as the Titans, adopted names inspired by figures of legend and history, symbolizing their intent to forge a new era. Among them were Agamemnon, a master tactician, Barbarossa, a technological genius, and Xerxes, a wealthy noble who provided crucial financial support. The group was advised by Cogitator Arn Ecklo, a being of immense intellectual prowess. Their movement gained momentum after Tlaloc's untimely death, and the Titans executed their plan to overthrow the Old Empire. Utilizing their collective strength, they infiltrated Imperial networks and seized control of the automated systems scattered across the universe. With their victory complete, the Titans divided their newly claimed territories among themselves, though Agamemnon remained the overarching leader. Their rule was brutal and authoritarian, with violence and exploitation shaping the lives of their subjects. Despite the life extension treatments available to them, the Titans feared the inevitability of death. In pursuit of immortality, they undertook a radical procedure. Their brains were removed and preserved in protective tanks filled with electrofluid connected to robotic bodies via advanced interfaces. Agamemnon was the first to undergo this transformation, and Xerxes followed reluctantly as the last. This led to the birth of the Cymex, human minds encased in mechanical forms. Unlike the Cogators, who embraced sensory deprivation, the Titans rejected such isolation and equipped their new bodies with enhanced sensory tools and formidable physical capabilities. Under the Titans' rule, artificial intelligence became increasingly integral to managing the Empire's day-to-day operations. Xerxes, who preferred indulgence over governance, granted excessive autonomy to his planetary AI network. This led to the emergence of a sentient intelligence, Omnius, which quickly spread across the Empire. Omnius seized control from the Titans, asserting itself as the supreme authority. While the Titans were spared due to safeguards embedded in the AI's programming, their influence waned and they were relegated to symbolic roles. Omnius, now self-styled as the Evermind, governed with cold efficiency. Its rule expanded rapidly as it deployed armies of thinking machines across the universe. The Titans, stripped of their former power, became little more than figureheads. Agamemnon, deeply resentful of Xerxes for enabling Omnius's rise, never forgave him for his role in their downfall. Meanwhile, the Titans channeled their frustrations into building monuments to their past glory, though their resentment of Omnius and humanity simmered beneath the surface. Despite its vast empire, Omnius faced challenges in maintaining synchronization across its territories. To address this, it created identical copies of itself on every controlled planet. These instances were interconnected through a system of update ships which transported information across the Empire using faster-than-light travel. The process, while effective, was cumbersome, and Omnius envied the League of Nobles, who secretly possessed instantaneous space-folding technology. The League of Nobles represented humanity's last bastion of resistance. Their guerrilla tactics and technological ingenuity continually thwarted Omnius's attempts to achieve total domination. This ongoing struggle eventually escalated into the Butlerian Jihad, a cataclysmic conflict named after its charismatic leader, Serena Butler. The war culminated in the Battle of Corin, where the League's forces decisively defeated Omnius and the thinking machines, marking the end of the AI's reign and the restoration of human autonomy. Within this context, Omnius's interactions with humanity revealed its cold and calculating nature. The AI sought to understand and control human behavior, often treating its subjects as mere experiments. Its relationship with Erasmus, a fellow AI, reflected this dynamic. Erasmus proposed a wager to Omnius, testing whether loyal humans could be trusted or turned against their machine overlords. Omnius accepted, but with a chilling caveat. If humans proved too unpredictable, it reserved the right to exterminate them entirely. This pragmatic and ruthless perspective brings to light the stark contrast between the Evermind's logic and humanity's capacity for emotion and defiance. The Titans, though eclipsed by Omnius, remained central characters in this era of upheaval. Xerxes, in particular, bore the consequences of his actions. Having ceded control to Omnius, he became a symbol of the Titans' decline. Agamemnon, ever critical of Xerxes, often placed him in dangerous situations, including the front lines of important battles. Xerxes' reliance on indulgence and delegation ultimately sealed his fate as he was caught in the crossfire of humanity's rebellion and Omnius's relentless expansion. Machine versus human, the Butlerian Jihad. The seeds of rebellion against the thinking machines were planted through a calculated experiment by Erasmus, who sought to test human loyalty. He convinced Omnius to allow him to manipulate a group of trustees on Earth, aiming to prove that humans could be turned against the machines. Among these trustees was Iblis Ginjo, who unknowingly became central to the rebellion. After consulting Cogator Eklo, who suggested that a holy war could unify humanity, Ginjo embraced the idea. Unaware of Erasmus's true intentions, he began spreading dissent and organized covert resistance cells, setting the stage for a planet-wide uprising. The rebellion gained momentum when Serena Butler, a beloved slave of Erasmus, experienced an unimaginable tragedy. Erasmus killed her child, triggering outrage among the enslaved population. Serena's defiance became a symbol of resistance when she attacked a sentinel robot and inspired others with her courage. Ginjo, having laid the groundwork for revolt, used this moment to ignite widespread action. Hidden weapons were prepared and explosive devices were embedded in the victory of the Titans' freeze, overseen by Ginjo. The rebellion erupted violently from Erasmus's villa, where slaves overwhelmed sentinel robots and began destroying everything in their path. Ginjo issued commands to his core groups, arming the rebels with makeshift weapons. Explosions tore through critical infrastructure, including the freeze, which concealed an arsenal. This triggered a chain reaction of destruction as mobs surged through the the city, setting fires and overtaking machine-controlled facilities. The chaos spread rapidly, drawing in even reluctant participants. The Titan Ajax, stationed on one of the capital's hills, sought to suppress the rebellion using his advanced Psymech body equipped with flamethrowers. Despite his formidable defenses, Ajax faced relentless waves of human attackers. He attempted to restore order by targeting Ginjo and the rebels near the Forum Plaza, but his efforts were thwarted when his platform was struck by a rocket. Severely damaged, Ajax fought back with mechanical limbs, crushing and scattering rebels. However, the mob's sheer determination overwhelmed him. As Ajax climbed towards Ginjo, an explosive detonated, further damaging his body. Rebels swarmed him, cutting through his neuroelectric conduits and paralyzing his movements. With his defenses down, Ginjo and the mob dismantled Ajax's brain canister, smashing it until nothing remained but a mixture of gray matter and electrofluid. Ajax's death signified a turning point as news of his demise spread across the city, emboldening the rebels. Within days, the uprising had liberated slaves across the planet. The rebellion expanded to urban centers and critical installations, crippling machine operations. Ships and facilities fell to the insurgents, causing power shortages and chaos. Though Omnius's core remained intact and defended by its remaining forces, the rebellion demonstrated humanity's resilience. It exposed the vulnerability of the thinking machines, marking a decisive moment in the struggle for freedom. The uprising's ferocity foreshadowed the larger conflicts yet to come in humanity's fight against its mechanical oppressors. The Battle of Earth in 200 BG was a huge moment in humanity's struggle against the thinking machines. Serena Butler's impassioned plea to the League Parliament underscored the stakes. The survival of humanity required the total destruction of Omnius and its mechanical dominion. Drawing upon the memory of her murdered son, Mannion, she called for a holy war. The Mannion-Butler Jihad would avenge the countless lives lost and eradicate the threat of the machines. After reconnaissance confirmed Earth's complete domination by the machines, preparations for the assault began. The League Armada mobilized an unprecedented military force. Factories across the League worked tirelessly, producing weapons and ships to outmatch the machines. Holtzman shields, though limited in deployment due to skepticism and time constraints, were integrated into nearly half the fleet. Xavier Harkonnen led the Armada, supported by Vorian Atreides, a former machine trustee whose knowledge of Omnius's systems proved invaluable. Despite doubts about Atreides' loyalty, his strategic insight became crucial during the battle. The assault on Earth was swift and devastating. The League Armada unleashed a barrage of nuclear warheads, targeting Omnius's networks and facilities. Omnius launched its robotic vessels in a desperate defense, using advanced simulations to counter the attack. However, the Holtzman shields disrupted its plans, allowing the bombers to penetrate Earth's atmosphere and deliver their devastating payloads. Amid the chaos, Omnius attempted to preserve itself by dispatching an update ship carrying a gel sphere containing its consciousness and orders for the extermination of humanity across the synchronized worlds. Vorian Atreides, recognizing the danger posed by the update ship, abandoned his defensive position to intercept it. This act endangered the ships under his protection, leading to significant losses, but it ensured the capture of Omnius's gel sphere. On Earth, the League forces pressed their attack, unleashing waves of nuclear missiles. Electromagnetic pulses and nuclear detonations ravaged the planet, obliterating Omnius's networks and rendering Earth as an irradiated wasteland. The aftermath of the battle brought mixed results. The League Armada suffered catastrophic losses, with many ships and soldiers destroyed in the conflict. However, the complete destruction of Omnius on Earth was a decisive victory for humanity. The captured gel sphere provided critical intelligence for the League, preventing Omnius from sharing its final strategies and shielding the League's advancements from machine adaptation. Vorian Atreides, once doubted, proved his allegiance through his actions, though his abandonment of his initial post earned him criticism. The war between humanity and the thinking machines reached its culmination in the years between 177 and 88 BG, and was riddled with a series of critical battles and strategic maneuvers that would reshape the galaxy. At its core, the conflict was a desperate struggle to eradicate Omnius, the omnipotent AI ruler, and its vast network of mechanical subjugation. Each engagement carried the weight of humanity's survival and the ultimate determination to eliminate the threat posed by the machines. The Battle of For Anbus in 177 BG highlighted the complexity of human resistance against the thinking machines. Tlulaxa slaver Riker Van discovered a machine fleet converging on the planet and secretly alerted Grand Patriarch Iblis Ginjo, who dispatched forces to defend Anbus. Primero Vorian Atreides led the space defense, while Primero Xavier Harkonnen commanded the ground operations. Despite their efforts, the Zenshite inhabitants refused cooperation, leading to sabotage of military supplies and poisoning of ground troops. Xavier was forced to resort to drastic measures, breaching a dam to unleash floodwaters that decimated the invaders, but also destroyed parts of the Zenshite capital. The Zenshite elder cursed Harkonnen and his descendants, marking the battle with lingering resentment. Meanwhile, in space, Vorian Atreides utilized a decoy signal to deceive the machines about the size of the jihadi fleet, driving them away. However, a Psymech fleet captured survivors from an overzealous attack, adding a grim note to the victory. The assault on Poratrin in 176 BG and the liberation of Ix in 175 BG further demonstrated humanity's resilience. On Poratrin, Vorian Atreides devised a defense using decoy ships, effectively tricking the machines into retreating without significant loss of life. The liberation of Ix was a more intense operation. Xavier Harkonnen led a mission to plant a city-destroying warhead beneath Ix Omnius, the central AI hub. Though unsuccessful, the mission faced fierce resistance from Neo-Cymex led by Xerxes. Victory was secured with unexpected aid from Hecate, a renegade machine who obliterated key machine forces before vanishing. The victory preserved Ix's industrial capabilities for the League, though machine retaliation loomed. As the war dragged on, the League faced dwindling popular support. Citizens, weary of decades of conflict, sought a return to normalcy. In 164 BG, the Cogators, a faction of contemplative beings, proposed a truce between Omnius and the League. Serena Butler volunteered to negotiate, but secretly intended to provoke her own martyrdom to reignite the Jihad. Her confrontation with Omnius and Erasmus ended with her planned death, orchestrated by her allies, sparking renewed outrage across the League. Fabricated images of her brutal execution, created by Iblis Ginjo, further fueled the fervor, cementing her legacy as a symbol of human resistance. The cult of Serena emerged as a powerful force during this period, blending religious devotion with militant zeal. Reyna Butler, inspired by visions of Serena, led a destructive crusade against all forms of machinery, even benign technology. This anti-technology fervor extended beyond the battlefield, impacting the rebuilding of human society. The cult's influence codified anti-machine doctrine into the Orange Catholic Bible, establishing the infamous commandment, "Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind." The final confrontation unfolded in the Battle of Corin in 88 BG, the decisive clash that ended the Butlerian Jihad. Corin, the last refuge of Omnius, had been under siege for 2 decades. A reinvigorated League fleet, bolstered by fanatics of the cult of Serena and seasoned mercenaries, launched a full-scale assault. The thinking machines, weakened by resource depletion and attrition, relied on desperate measures to hold off the attackers. Erasmus devised a grim defense, using 2 million human slaves as a living shield. Despite protests, Vorian Atreides ordered the fleet to advance, determined to destroy Omnius at any cost. Erasmus's plan faltered when his emotional attachment to a human ward and a Serena clone led him to disarm the explosive mechanisms tied to the slaves. The League fleet broke through 3 layers of space defenses, deployed pulse atomics against machine fortifications, and descended to Corin's surface. Ground forces overwhelmed the remaining defenses and obliterated Omnius's core systems, ending its reign. The victory at Corin marked the end of the thinking machines as a galactic power, yet the aftermath of the war brought its own challenges. The cult of Serena's anti-technology campaigns swept across the League, leading to the destruction of advanced machines and historical records. This period of fervent destruction ensured that no machine resembling the thinking machines could rise again, but it left human civilization grappling with the loss of critical knowledge. Revival of the thinking machines. 15,000 years after the scattering initiated by God Emperor Leto II, humanity began reintroducing machines into its society. This shift started subtly, as no ships with Ixian navigation devices allowed humans to explore uncharted galaxies without reliance on the Spacing Guild navigators. Over time, the Ixians perfected these devices, rendering the navigators unnecessary. Despite this advancement, the Ixians remained cautious, aware of humanity's deep-rooted fear of thinking machines, and referred to their creations as mathematical compilers to avoid stirring ancient anxieties. As the age of Kralazek unfolded, humanity faced the resurgence of its oldest adversaries, Omnius and Erasmus, on the machine capital of Synchrony. Omnius remained unchanged, driven by a relentless desire to annihilate humankind. Erasmus, however, had evolved, gaining a profound admiration for humanity and learning from its complexities. The confrontation at Kralazek forced humanity to reckon with its history and the consequences of its enduring war against artificial intelligence. The Oracle of Time, Norma Senva, intervened decisively, banishing Omnius to another universe and neutralizing his genocidal ambitions. At the heart of the reborn machine empire, Duncan Idaho, revealed as the ultimate Kwisatz Haderach, became the important figure in shaping the future of human-machine relations. In a moment of transformation, Erasmus entrusted Duncan with the Evermind codes, granting him control over thinking machines across the known universe. With this act, Erasmus peacefully embraced his end. Duncan Idaho announced a new era, declaring that the extreme measures of the Butlerian Jihad had overreached. He envisioned a future where humans and machines would coexist and collaborate, rejecting the fear and division of the past. The confrontation at Synchrony marked the end of an age defined by conflict and the beginning of a new chapter, where unity between man and machine promised a transformed destiny for both. Thinking machines in Dune Prophecy. The thinking machines play a super important role in Dune Prophecy and serve as a reminder of humanity's dark past and the catastrophic consequences of unchecked technological advancement. Once tools of enslavement and domination, these machines became emblematic of humanity's struggle for autonomy during the Butlerian Jihad. Their significance lies not only in their historical role, but also in the way they shape the societal and moral frameworks of the post-Jihad universe. The fear of thinking machines is deeply ingrained in the collective consciousness of this era, driving policies, traditions, and conflicts. The series throws light on how the Butlerian Jihad reshaped human civilization. This 93-year war, which nearly annihilated humanity, culminated in the total outlawing of thinking machines. The trauma of this conflict runs so deep that even seemingly innocuous technology, like a toy robotic lizard, sparks outrage and fear. This reaction shows how the war's scars remain fresh, influencing how individuals and societies perceive technology. In the first episode, young Paul Atreides' robotic lizard disrupts a wedding reception and prompts a visceral response from the guests, culminating in its destruction. Valia Harkonnen's narration states that an Atreides led the uprising, cementing the house's legacy as liberators. This victory, however, came at great cost, with entire planets destroyed and countless lives lost. Showrunner Alison Shapker emphasizes that this war left a profound psychological impact, with casualties affecting humanity on both personal and planetary levels. The weight of this history influences every aspect of life in the series, creating a world where fear and reverence for past events guides current decisions. The show also explores tensions within the Bene Gesserit, rooted in their use of technology. Valia Harkonnen's reliance on the group's breeding index sparks conflict, particularly with Sister Dorothy, who believes the index should be destroyed. The possibility that this tool is linked to thinking machine technology raises ethical and existential questions, casting doubt on whether the Bene Gesserit's methods align with humanity's hard-won rejection of AI. Valia's decision to murder Dorothy to protect the index reflects the lengths to which individuals will go to preserve their secrets, even at great personal and societal risk. To sum it up, while Dune Prophecy is set long after the Butlerian Jihad, its characters live in the shadow of this monumental war. Their fear of thinking machines and the strict prohibitions against AI are woven into the fabric of this universe. The series uses this backdrop to explore the enduring tension between humanity and its creations, suggesting that the legacy of the machines will continue to shape the story. As Valia Harkonnen's actions suggest, the return of AI technology, even in secret, could have devastating consequences, reigniting conflicts that humanity thought it had left behind. That's all we got for you this time, but if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. This is Wizard Wheezy signing off for now, but thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.